All right. What is going on, lunch breakers and takers? Let's give everybody a minute to get into the room. I know it wasn't the Ravens playing tonight, so
Yeah.
I'm not sure how many people are expecting a live stream. But here we are. Here we are. Let's get our folks up here on Sportscaster. Give it by a second here. Can you read the comments, B?
Let's see.
Let me pull them up here. Okay. Yeah, got the comments up. Okay, I see some people trickling in. What's going on? Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're here to talk some playoffs, some conference championship weekend football. As you guys finish watching the Kansas City and Bills game. P Brownie, what's going on? Thank you for joining the live stream. Welcome, welcome.
What's up?
Let's get the sportscaster guys up here real quick. Okay, sportscaster.
Yeah.
Night.
Chiefs versus Bucs is crazy because Green Bay kind of gave that game away.
Yeah. All right, one more second here, guys. Okay. Yeah, P. Brownie, yeah. Night. Love you too. Chiefs versus Bucks. Yeah. So that's gonna be your Super Bowl, guys. Tom Brady. How many Super Bowls is that for Tom Brady?
This is his 10th.
Yeah. Look, the GOAT talk is obviously there. It's still gonna be there. You know, me and B's thing on the GOAT talk for quarterbacks is, yes, he's got the rings, he's got the appearances, Super Bowl appearances. But what are we talking about here? Are we talking about most accomplished, or are we talking about, the best ever? Because
Right. Yeah, because no question, most accomplished. Absolutely.
yeah,
best
without a doubt,
best career probably for any athlete ever.
Yeah.
I think there are several quarterbacks who are more talented than him.
Yeah, but look, we're not here to throw any shade today. Look,
No,
congratulations, the man made it to the Super Bowl at what, 41 years old?
I want to say 42.
Okay.
42. But yeah, Aaron Rodgers was not pleased after the game either. He sounded like he was maybe looking for an out in Green Bay there.
Well, we'll get to that in a second. But first, shout out to everybody on Sportscaster. Seahawks Girl, thank you for joining the live stream. I think you were in the live stream last time we were here, so I appreciate you coming back. Oh, there! Look who making an appearance. Jacob, what's going on, Jacob?
Hey, Jacob.
All right, go to bed.
Go to bed.
Felipe Marino, thank you for joining the live stream. I feel you, man. LBK, who we gonna take?
Kansas City.
Kansas City, yeah. Kansas City.
Absolutely.
Look, Tampa's strong, man. Go ahead. What are you gonna say, B?
Oh no, I was just gonna say, Eric Fisher looks like he's gonna be out next week. The Chiefs starting left tackle, so that'll make it more interesting. But you say you're not betting against Tom Brady, and I get that. I'm not betting against Pat Mahomes.
Yeah, the Chiefs. So we said it. What did they finish the season with? What was their record?
The Chiefs
14-2.
No, 15-1.
15-1. Man.
No, 14-2. You're right.
We talked about how they didn't quite look themselves towards the end of the year, and then you and I kind of came to the conclusion that they just weren't really, not say bored, but like they've been here and done that.
They're playing for the championships.
Yeah, and even this game tonight, it looked like they were practicing. Let's just be real about it. The score looks closer than it actually was. The Bills weren't really in the game. They had a couple of I can't even say they had a couple of good drives, but if it weren't for that muff punt at the beginning of the game, it wouldn't even look close at all.
No, they went up 9-0, and it wasn't any concern at all to Kansas City. They're another one, much like Green Bay. I don't think they would have won anyway, but what are you doing kicking field goals against Kansas City?
Yeah. The minute they started doing that, I said, okay, they're gonna be out of it. They're gonna be out of it because Kansas City doesn't settle for field goals.
No.
They don't unless they know they're comfortably ahead. Felipe, you say Josh Allen is overrated.
Okay.
Lamar is way better with worse talent around him. Ha ha ha. He should have 5 picks in this game. He should have had more picks in that game for sure.
Yeah, he didn't have a great game tonight. Josh Allen's good. Josh Allen's
Josh
good.
Allen's good.
I don't. I'm not going to say he's overrated. I do think Lamar's better, but that's more of a case of Lamar being underrated.
Yeah, he's good. It depends on who you talk to whether Josh Allen is overrated or not. Because some analysts, some sports talks guys will have Josh Allen way up there. Some will have him good but not great.
Well, before the game, people were talking about, some in the NFL think he's better than Pat Mahomes. I don't think we're going to hear that again.
Yeah, all right, I got that one. No, because if we're being real about it, that's 2 weeks in a row where he didn't look particularly great.
Yeah.
He didn't look great in the Ravens game. Obviously, the offense only put up 10 points, and tonight, yeah, he had a late touchdown pass that kind of helped his stats out, but they were already way out of that game.
And listen, it's fine. I mean, just like Lamar, he's a third-year quarterback, and like we're being very harsh on very young players.
Right. No, yeah, we're not throwing shade at Josh Allen. Like B said, he's young. It's okay if he has these games, man. Like, not everybody can be Pat Mahomes. Pat Mahomes, man, he came out the womb like that.
Right, like Aaron Rodgers, by the end of his third year, was getting ready to start.
Yeah. Byron Jackson, what's going on? Ravens put up 3 points versus Buffalo. KC put up 38. But Harbaugh don't see no problem with our offense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stephon Diggs didn't have a great game tonight, numbers wise. Kansas City really focused on keeping the ball out of his hands. But even still, he had a couple nice catches. But you look at that Kansas City offense, and you had Travis Kelce with, I believe it was 8 catches, 118 yards and 2 touchdowns, and Tyreek Hill with like 7 catches, 172 yards. Yeah, you cannot stop either one of those guys.
Yeah. All right, Jonathan Carrington, Z the Beast, thank you for joining the live stream. I'll get to your comments in a second. First, let's break down the first game, the NFC Championship game, Green Bay and Tampa. All right. Pretty that was an exciting game. That was a fun game to watch.
It was right up until Green Bay decided to kick a field goal with a couple minutes left instead of going for the touchdown. I thought Aaron Rodgers, I don't know what it was exactly that he was thinking when he tried to force that pass into Devontae Adams in double coverage instead of just running.
Instead of just running for that wide open touchdown. I don't know.
But wait a minute. Yes, I do know what he was thinking because he said so. He said after the game, he said a lot of guys' futures, they're uncertain, myself included. But he also said, Roger, I felt like I had a chance maybe to run it, talking about that third down play. And then he said, I thought maybe we were going to have 4 chances to go. So immediately after the game, throwing his coach under the bus.
Rodgers is known for throwing this light shade, man. These little jabs at his coaches.
Well, there's nothing light about that.
Well, I mean, he said it nicely. If you're not really, if your antennas aren't up, you don't pick up on that. Oh, I thought maybe we were going to have 4 chances. I don't know. I don't call plays or anything like that.
Right.
To me. All right, let's get to a couple of comments here real quick, and then we'll go over the game a little bit more. Let's see. Felipe, be nice. Should we draft for slant boy this year if we not get Robinson or Galladay? You mean trade for slant boy? Slant boy is Mike Thomas. For those who don't know, Michael Thomas. He doesn't like being called slant boy.
I kind of, I know he's a really good receiver. I know he's much better than anybody in Baltimore, but I kind of don't want him.
Yeah, we got. Yes. He's an amazing wide receiver, but there's something about him, in particular, that makes me a little uncomfortable. But yes, we can get him.
This is where we have a difference of opinion, with most people regarding character. Right.
Yeah.
Most people say, "Oh, don't bring in Antonio Brown. He's a head case, and he's going to cause distractions, and he's a bad character guy, and everything." And you and I both say, "No, bring in Antonio Brown. He's a talent." Right.
Yeah.
I look at Mike Thomas. I'm like, yeah, no, nothing wrong with him off the field, but I think he's a guy who causes problems in the locker room.
Yeah, yeah,
Malcolm
yeah,
Jenkins called him slant boy in practice, and he went and punched him in the face.
yeah. I don't know. I don't know. Like, if we're in a position where we can get him, we haven't got anybody else. That's an obvious yes. You pick him up.
It's a yes that you get him, but he's far down the list.
Yeah, yeah. For me, it is. Jonathan Carrington. All right, what you got here? Nah, bruh. People worship Josh Allen this year. Lamar's definitely better. Look,
We said Lamar's better.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. But it's hard to argue the year that Josh Allen had. He had an
Yeah,
excellent year. He had an excellent year, and we all know what it is, man. Like we know what it is. He got all the help there. He got one of the best wide receivers in the league, and that helped him a whole lot. Lamar got weapons taken away from him, and then he got injuries to the O line and his other tight end on top of that. So
yeah. It sounds like we're hating on Josh Allen, but like that's how it's supposed to go. When you
right,
have a young quarterback who's your franchise guy, who you expect to be there for a decade plus, who you think is really talented, who can be one of the best in the league, you're supposed to surround him with talent.
yeah,
It's just that Baltimore's not doing it.
tough puppy. What is going on? He said, "Slant boy." Oh
Yeah,
man,
I really don't like his attitude, man. He was trying to call out Carlton Davis again after the game. Like, Carlton Davis shut you down completely.
yeah,
And
yeah.
Carlton Davis is going to the Super Bowl.
Joe486 over on Sportscaster. Thank you for joining the live stream. Hey, if any of you guys in here, I know some people watching on Periscope as well. Any of you guys that are new here, please take a second to hit that follow button. If you're over on Sportscaster, over on YouTube, please take a minute to hit that like and subscribe button. We're trying to hit a new goal here. You guys have been blowing us away with our us meeting our goals. So our new goal, 300 subscribers by the end of the month. All right, I think
Yeah,
we're
our goal was 250 by the end of January. We're currently at 289.
yeah.
So
So
again, yeah, thank you to everybody who
yes,
followed.
yes.
Also, if you don't know, we do a live show every Wednesday. We missed this past week. Some things came up, so we weren't able to stream.
Well,
Uh,
we could tell them. We could tell them.
okay.
So look, as our friend David, the sports and gaming nerd, always says, wash your hands, use soap. Okay, COVID is real out
Yeah.
there. All right, COVID is real, and me and a couple of other members of my family got the virus a few days ago. So I tested positive for COVID-19, which is why we didn't do a full live stream on Wednesday. I was just too tired. I was too tired, and I'm recovering fine. Still a little fatigued, which is why we weren't planning on doing a full live stream tonight. But we'll see how it goes. Right now, I'm okay. But yeah, make sure you guys protect yourselves out there. Make sure you're wearing your mask. Make sure you're washing your hands. Social distancing, and even then, because everybody in this house was real careful. But things happen sometimes. So
Yeah.
even when you're being careful, things happen. So just be
Yeah,
careful out there.
you can only control what you do. You can't control everybody else, and you do have to be out at certain times. Going to work or going to get groceries or whatever it is, and
Yep.
you can get it anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. Appreciate it, Brownie. Let's see. Okay, Jonathan Character has a quick question. Hold on. Quick question. Next Gen Stats breaks down separation for wide receivers. Did you know Allen Robinson ranks pretty low and Kenny Galladay ranks even lower?
The next gen stats can be a little bit misleading because I believe if you look, Baltimore's receivers rank pretty high. Uh, the separation stat only takes into account targets.
Right.
So, better wide receivers get, they get the ball thrown to them when they're not really open. And worse wide receivers, Miles Boykin, you're only going to throw it to him when he's wide open, right? So, I mean, I think that it's a little skewed, but the quarterbacks in Detroit and Chicago trust Galladay and Allen Robinson to make contested catches, whereas other places not so much.
Yeah, and we talk about that. There are some wide receivers that they may not get separation, but they always catch the ball. They don't, they don't need to get a lot of separation. Even if the defenders on them, doesn't matter. They're going to come down with the ball. So, look, it doesn't matter, man. Like, get some talent here. Get
Yeah,
some talent. I want some proven wide receivers that know how to step up in big moments, that know how to play big, right? Hollywood is going to be fine. right? Me and B have a lot of faith in Hollywood. Hollywood has shown us that he can play, and he wants to get even better. And he's got one of the best wide receivers in the league as his cousin that he's been working out with. And I think he's, like he wants it. You could tell he wants it. So we're fine with Hollywood, but he's young. He's going into his third year. I want somebody that's hungry, that has experience like Allen Robinson. Allen Robinson is tired of losing, y'all. Okay, he's one of the best wide receivers in the league that you never heard of. He wants to play for a winning team. All right.
Yeah.
I don't think he's worried about his stats like Harbaugh saying. All right. I think he wants to go to a team that's competing.
Harbaugh sounded like a fan in that press conference, man. It was disturbing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But just real quick to go back to what I was saying about Twitter.
Yes.
We have the live stream every week. We didn't get to do it this week. And if you want to find out when that happens, you want any updates like that, you need to be following us on Twitter because that's where any kind of announcement like that will be.
Yes.
So you go on Twitter and we're at LBHT Show, and you can keep up with us and make sure you don't miss any streams or videos, or you find out if maybe this week there's not going to be one.
Yep. G Star 007, what's going on, man? Bucs versus Chiefs, who wins? We're picking the Chiefs, but man, that's going to be an entertaining game. Look, the Bucs.
It's always entertaining watching Tom Brady lose.
You can always tell. You can always tell when a team really believes in their quarterback, because look, Tampa already had talent on the team when Jameis was there, right? Mm-hmm. But when they decided, Jameis ain't it, we need to get better, and they brought in Tom, they're like, let's get even more.
Yeah.
Right? You know what they didn't need? They didn't need any more wide receivers.
Yeah.
And he was like, I want AB. Okay, let's get AB. Right? The coach didn't even want him. The coach, Arians didn't even want him. But Tom's like, but I want AB. It's like, all right, then it's done.
Right.
You want Gronk, it's done.
Look at them. They had arguably the best wide receiver duo in the league with Godwin and Mike Evans, and they had a couple other good wide receivers with Scotty Miller, and they just picked up that guy Johnson, and then they went and they added 2 Hall of Fame talents in Antonio Brown and Gronkowski. So, and then they got the best. They got the best O lineman in the draft, arguably, in Tristan Wirfs.
Yeah, like they put everything around him.
And that's honestly that's been my concern in Baltimore, is that maybe there's people in the building who don't believe in Lamar as a quarterback.
That's my feeling, which is why I think ultimately it's about John Harbaugh. And as I read this comment here, where did it go? P. Brownie said, John and G-Row get fired next season after the offense is still stale after week 6. What did you guys say? I think ultimately, Harbaugh is going to have to be the one to go, because Harbaugh just wants to win a certain way. Right. And it's hard to tell somebody that's won a Super Bowl, that's had a lot of winning seasons, that's been to the playoffs multiple times, how to win, how to run a team. So when you get guys that are stuck in their ways, that aren't open to change or adapting with the times, you got to force them out. Not saying he's a bad coach, but it's just he's not going to work out for Lamar long term.
Yeah, and I don't think they'll get fired in season. It's a little too early to make that prediction. I think we got to wait and see what they do. I don't think they're going to bring in a guy like Allen Robinson, but if they do, let's say they go and they get a top wide receiver, or they bring in a couple wide receivers in free agency, and they address the O-line in the draft, I think Baltimore has a great shot of going to the Super Bowl next year, even with Greg Roman. I think they'll have enough talent, and Lamar will make it work.
Yeah.
If they don't, if they come back with Hollywood and Boykin as their top 2 wide receivers, I think after the next season, Harbaugh will be fired.
Yeah, I agree. They can't. People will look at this year and be like, "Hey, we went 11-5. Made it out the first round of the playoffs. We lost to a good team. What do you want?" Well, the expectation is Super Bowl around here. That's the expectation that they set. And there's nobody that can say that this season ended in disappointment. It absolutely ended in disappointment. Mm-hmm. We should have beaten the Bills, man. We were a better team than them, but we just fell apart in the playoffs because poor coaching. It's just poor coaching in big moments. So we can't have that happen again. And if they don't make the right moves this offseason, I could see us same as this year. We're gonna have our lows, and then we'll have our highs again. We'll make a run. We'll go to the playoffs. We might even win the first round, and then we'll stumble against the Chiefs or whoever, right? And we'll be saying the same thing. But if that happens again next year, I think DaCosta makes a change. Because already, I mean, it always starts, those little those little rumblings of displeasure from the players. But you've already heard Lamar comment on the offense saying that it's predictable. The other teams are calling calling their plays. You heard Hollywood right at the end of the season say that, look, we can't be number one in rushing and almost dead last in passing. Like, there needs to be some balance. Those are players telling you that they're not happy with what they're doing on offense.
You're even seeing Des Bryant kind of calling them out for the way they run the offense.
Yeah, Derek
After
Weatherly,
the
man,
season,
what's going on? When Brady took the podium, players were excited to see him up there. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, screw Tom Brady. What's up, Derek? Yeah, no, look, I mean, I don't like Tom Brady. I mean, obviously he beat Carolina in the Super Bowl the first time they went, which is crazy to say. It was a long time ago,
Yeah.
but it's one of those things where, I wasn't the biggest Michael Jordan fan or Kobe Bryant fan, but you had to appreciate the greats while they're around, while you still have a chance to watch them. So yeah, I mean, it's great to see Tom Brady play. I'd prefer to see him lose.
Yeah, I agree. Top Puppy thinks we're going 10-6 or 9-7 next year, miss the playoffs, and I think that is better for Lamar's future. 9-7, we're definitely out. Hold on. Felipe says, dream Allen Robinson reality washed AJ Green. Just wait. Plus, we will get Yannick with Kerrigan or Justin Houston. You think Yannick is coming back here? I don't think he's coming back. But we'll see. We'll see. Look, they said that they want Judon back. They didn't say anything about Yannick though. So
they said they were very happy with what they got from Yannick, and
yeah,
we want Judon back.
Yeah. Yeah, Derek says he hates Tom Brady too. He just commented on how the team believes in him.
Yeah.
And that's true.
Yeah. No,
Chris
absolutely.
Hall, what's going on, Chris Hall? Thank you for joining the live stream, man.
What's up, Chris?
Appreciate you coming through.
So yeah, I mean, just real quick, since Derek's in the room, I don't know if there's any other Panthers fans in here. We put a poll on Twitter asking, what do you want Carolina to do this offseason? Matt Stafford has asked for a trade now. So would you want to see Carolina spend 3 draft picks trading for Deshaun, just stay at 8 and draft a quarterback, trade for Matt Stafford, or stick with Bridgewater? What do you think?
Yeah. Even if you're not a Panthers fan, put your thoughts down there. I know you guys are football fans. And speaking of, look, you guys know, if you don't know, every Wednesday we do a live show at 7 p.m. We don't just cover football. We do basketball, UFC, boxing, all that good stuff. So if you guys are fans of other sports, other events, that's a good show to check out. And, of course, we're going to cover Ravens. Like, we understand the majority of our audience so far are Ravens fans. So that's why we give you a lot of Ravens content, and that's not going to change. We're going to give you a lot of that this offseason. So don't go anywhere. But just to let you know, we're going to be putting out some other videos too. You're going to be seeing some more NBA videos. Some, we got to talk about UFC. We're going to be talking about, Conor. When there's big boxing events coming up, we'll be talking about that as well. So, you guys, take a look at it. Check it out. Yeah. All right. Yeah, Judon. They're talking about Judon asking for $20 million. He didn't actually ask for $20 million. Tough Puppy says he bets he does get $20 million. He might get $20 million from somebody.
He's not gonna get 20. He's not gonna get it because you look at it. There's one outside linebacker making $20 million. That's Khalil Mack.
Yeah,
and with the cap, likely going down or at best staying flat.
Yeah,
Judon didn't play well enough to get to 20. He's gonna make more than Baltimore's comfortable with.
Yeah,
but he won't get to 20.
Yeah, we'll see. Z the Beast says the Instagram footage that's put out was tough. Roman deadass doesn't like passing the ball. Also, no one will talk about how clutch Gronk was on that third down the screen. Yeah. That's why he brought him in.
He dad ran all the way down that sidelines. But he got it done though.
Yeah. Z the B says McGregor's only fighting for the bag. Yeah, we know.
Yeah,
we know.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah, we don't want to say he's washed. He's transitioned.
Yeah, these are sparring matches for him.
Yeah, yeah.
Paid appearances.
Okay. What else we got here? Chris Hall says, I think the Panthers need a quarterback that's ready now, not someone that's learning and needs time to be good. Okay.
Yeah, agree with that. Especially, we talked about before. There's not really going to be a combine this year, and there's major restrictions on workouts and interviews with players. College players this offseason. So even more than other years, it's kind of a crapshoot in the draft. So I mean, if it's me, I'm packaging Christian McCaffrey and some picks, and I'm making that call to Houston.
Yeah, yeah. If you can get Deshaun Watson, you do what you got to do. P. Brownie says, Matt, I think he's talking about Matt Stafford would be an upgrade from Teddy. I don't think they should give away draft picks to get Watson. What draft picks matter if you can get somebody like Deshaun Watson?
Yeah, I hear what he's saying. I mean, they have a lot of needs, right?
Yeah,
But I think they've got a good start on defense in their front seven. I mean, obviously they need picks to fill out the secondary, but they can do that in rounds 2 through 7.
yeah,
They need to fix the O line, but again, they'll have later round picks to be able to do that. And quarterback's the most important position.
yeah,
And if they can get an elite guy like Deshaun Watson, you got to trust that the rest will fall into place with the guys you just hired.
yeah. Felipe says if he's the Panthers, he wants them to draft Zach Wilson
Or Justin Fields.
Justin Fields. Yep.
I would not be mad at that. I don't think Zach Wilson will be there at 8. I think there's a chance that Justin Fields would. I wouldn't be mad at that, but obviously, they'll know well in advance of the draft if they can get a trade done. So, I mean, if they couldn't get Deshaun Watson, the talk is that he wants to go to the Jets. So, if they can't make that happen, yeah, I wouldn't be mad at all at either one of those guys.
All right. Yeah. G Star 007 wants to know who the Ravens are drafting. I honestly don't know, man. I mean, we can sit here and tell you all day who we want them to draft, but who are they going to draft? I honestly don't know because they've always been an organization that wants to get, the best player available. That's what they're big on. Best player available. They don't necessarily draft for need, and I can understand that to a certain extent. But they always harp on best player available. But in their case, it always seems like the best player available just happens to be on defense.
It's weird.
It's weird, right?
Yeah.
Like it's always somebody on defense, and I can see them. I hate to say it, but I can see them going edge rusher in the first round, and a lot of people just being on board with it because if we don't bring back Judon, if we don't bring back Yannick, even if we bring back Bowser, we're still gonna be short-handed at edge rusher. And I think a lot of fans will be on board with them going edge rusher in the first round. I would not.
Yeah, it's too early to say who they might be able to get specifically, just because they're picking 27th. And I mean,
Yeah,
that the mock drafts and who will be available, at that point is going to change a million times between now and the actual draft. But I agree with Jose. I think they're going to end up going edge rusher.
Yeah.
I think most of the top wide receivers will be gone before they pick. And, like as I said, I don't think they're going to pay Yannick. I don't think they're going to pay Judon. And so they're going to look at that as the biggest hole on the team that they need to fill.
Yeah. Tough Puppy says, honestly, I hate how people say the Ravens are a great organization. We are good on defense and can't do anything on offense. Look, man, when you win 2 Super Bowls and you're constantly in the playoffs and you've had some historic defenses, you're going to get that credit. And I had no problem with that. I'll say this. We're a good organization. No, I'm fine with being called a great organization. We win more than we lose. And yes, we've had some down years for sure, but I think through the history of their organization, more winning years than losing. The 2 Super Bowls help their rep a lot. I would say that we've been extremely lucky. We've been extremely lucky. Now, Ozzie, I think, was a great GM for sure. I think towards the end of his career, the game might start to pass him up a little bit, just a little bit. Because he wasn't making any good picks on offense, and he was missing on some of his defensive picks as well.
Yeah.
But he did draft Lamar. I like to remind people that when they want to give Eric DeCosta a lot of credit, he didn't draft Lamar. Ozzie did,
Yeah.
and I think with that we got lucky too, if we're being honest. But yeah, I mean, sometimes that's what you need. Like, you need a little luck, and sometimes you just, you're not as dumb as the next organization. I would say so. There's no problem. I had no problem with being called that. I mean, we complain about seasons ending like this, but we did end up in the playoffs, and there are a lot of teams out there that they ain't seen the playoffs in forever.
Yeah, I mean, you know, a lot of people say that Matt Stafford's a great quarterback. I mean, I don't personally agree, but whatever. A lot of people say he's a great quarterback, and they've had 3 seasons of double-digit wins since he's been there, and they finished dead last in that division in the last 3 years.
Yeah.
Like the Ravens are they're generally a good team, and that's not something to turn your nose up at in the NFL. There are some horribly run organizations in the National Football League.
Yeah, Byron Jackson
This
says
is one of them right here.
Well, I mean, that's another tough one, man. You guys you haven't won a Super Bowl, but you've been to 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah, they've been to 2 Super Bowls by sheer luck.
I don't think you guys are in the bottom half of organizations, if I was ranking organizations.
Bro, let them have 2 consecutive winning seasons before you rank them ahead of anybody.
You've been to 2 Super Bowls, though, man. I can't put you at the bottom half, man. I
Lost
think,
both of them, too.
And even now, you got a good coach. I mean, we got to see what quarterback you end up with, but there's a lot of potential there. I wouldn't call you one of the bottom. I'm not putting you down there with the Lions. You know what I mean?
They are look. I don't think they're the worst run organization in the league, but they're a horribly inconsistent organization.
Yeah. Okay.
Again, you had Cam Newton, and you did not win 9 games in 2 consecutive years.
Yeah, that's true.
At any point.
That's true. All right. So we talked about we didn't even get to the second game. All right. Real quick, we'll run by the Chiefs. I mean, we kind of talked about it a little bit, but Chiefs and Bills. Look, Mahomes is amazing. Mm-hmm. Tyreek Hill is amazing. Travis Kelce's amazing. I mean, Eric Bieniemy and Andy Reid are amazing. This is an amazing team all around.
It's funny. One of the comments, I forget who left the comment, but somebody said that. Yeah, it's not a big deal that we didn't fire Greg Roman because everybody makes mistakes on offense, and everybody can improve.
Somebody in this chat or one of our videos?
No, on one of the videos. And I responded to him and I said the difference is that when Kansas City makes mistakes, they score 20 plus, and when Baltimore makes mistakes on offense, they score 3. And you saw that tonight, right? Mecole Hardman muffed a punt early on in the game to turn it over. Tyreek Hill dropped what would have put them in, a pass that would have put them in scoring position early on. So, they got down 9 points, and then 38 points later, they're going to the Super Bowl.
It did not matter. Yeah, it did not matter. And with certain teams like the Chiefs, you had that feeling that that's nothing. Like, 9 points, that's it. Okay, you're going to need more than that. And the minute they scored that first touchdown, and they were still down 9-7. I told you, I was like, man, this is about to get ugly.
Yeah.
I was like, this is about to get ugly because, the Bills scored that touchdown off of that turnover. It's not like they marched down the field and put up points. Like, they didn't light them up by any means. And they scored that second touchdown. I was just like, oh, they're about to be off to the races.
Yeah.
What I mean?
So it's about giving yourself as many opportunities as possible on offense. And that's why you see the 2 teams in the Super Bowl that you see. The Tampa has Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Antonio Brown, although he didn't play today, Gronkowski, Cameron Brate, Ronald Jones, Leonard Fournette. Like, they can make mistakes and make up for it.
Yeah.
Right? Kansas City, I mean, we all know the playmakers.
Yep.
And in Green Bay, you've got Devontae Adams.
Yeah. Monarchs 94. Thank you for joining the live stream. Nothing on Josh Allen, but I think the pressure got to him. He's just too young. The vets needed to step up is what he put. He needed to step up. Yeah. And that's fine. Look, if you're a Bills fan, look, sky's the limit for you guys, man. You got a young quarterback. You got him some weapons. You're all coming back next year. You're going to be just as competitive. So, Not a big deal. It's disappointing, right? You would love to go to the Super Bowl, but you'll have your shot again next year too.
Yeah.
You're not
You
going
know,
anywhere.
and this is what I was hoping that Baltimore would be able to do last week. I mean, Kansas City really stuck to those receivers, and they didn't give him anything easy. And he got frazzled, and he made
Yeah,
mistakes, and he made poor throws.
and that's
Um,
okay.
but yeah,
That's all right. Yeah,
they got beat by a better team today, and he'll be fine. I mean, it's his third year.
yeah,
He's still growing.
yeah. Exactly. Courtney Rogers, thank you for joining the live stream, bro. So what's Lamar? So what's this Lamar maybe working with Jordan Palmer? It's honestly, huh? Jordan Palmer, Carson's little brother, working on what? A new app? Isn't he the one that had the app, the Go P app?
The Run
Run
P.
P, yeah, Run P app.
Listen, he wasn't a great quarterback, but that was brilliant. I like that.
You gotta be talking about somebody else, right? Please tell me you're talking about somebody else.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not aware of Jordan Palmer being a quarterback coach, but if he is, and Lamar's going out to work with him, that's fine. You know,
I feel like Lamar being a superstar can reach out to anybody
hmm
to work with on his honing his craft. And I would say you hit up Tom since he's down there in Tampa already. All right. You hit up Tom or you hit up Rogers. You be like, look, I need to work out with you guys this offseason. Like I just want to shadow you guys. Is that cool? And they're gonna be like, of course that's cool. Right? Of course that's cool. That go learn from them. I'm not saying, Palmer can't be a good quarterback coach or whatever, but I think Tom would be a good person to learn from.
yeah.
Jonathan Carter says, Joe Brady, please. I agree, man. I agree.
I'm mildly surprised he didn't get a job this offseason.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. I mean, he interviewed for a couple jobs,
for
right? But he
everything.
didn't. Yeah,
Yeah.
next year though. Next year. Chris Hall says the Ravens are such a poorly coached team. The Bills covering the tight ends are dead last in the league, and your game plan is to run the ball instead of finding ways to get the tight ends involved
Listen,
because that involves passing.
to be fair, the Bills are also bad at stopping the run.
Well, yeah,
and,
yeah.
and also to be fair, they failed at that. Baltimore.
Yeah, it's just not a good strategy whatsoever. That first drive we had, and we run the ball and we hand the ball off. I'm like, all we gotta do is just keep doing that.
Yeah.
They're not ready to hand, for us to hand the ball off to our running backs. They're expecting option. They're expecting Lamar to run with the ball, and if we just keep handing the ball off to our running backs, they're not gonna stop it.
Yeah.
And we're like, okay, we got down to the red zone. Now let's do some other stuff that
Yeah.
doesn't involve handing the ball off and not running crisp routes or protecting our quarterback. All right. So, and once Justin Tucker missed after the first field goal, really, once he missed that first field goal, I think our coaching staff just got rattled. Like, man, what do we do now? If we can't hit field goals when we
They
get
were
down
over
there,
they were clutching pearls.
yeah,
And then
yeah,
Justin
yeah,
Tucker missed a kick.
yeah.
We are doomed.
Oh, Felipe dropping some nuggets here, dropping some gems. Jordan Palmer
Okay.
is the guy who trains Allen and Mahomes. Okay,
Well, thank you.
yeah,
Look, if he wants to go and work out with those guys, that's fantastic. I know Lamar puts in the work in the off season. I know he's always looking to get better, and however he wants to do that,
see,
that's fine.
our guys are schooling us, man. ZDB says, yeah, he's a guru, man. Courtney Rogers says, man, research Jordan Palmer. All right, man, we're gonna research him. All bad. Thank you for setting us straight. Appreciate you guys, man.
Listen,
Appreciate you. Thank you for that.
Anybody can be a guru. You hear a lot about these off-season coaches, and I think it's great when players want to go and really work on their craft in the off-season. But
That's for you. That's for you. They're really pretending to block in the playoffs again.
it's funny because like last week I was watching the game and I'm like, well, how are they not just running around Daryl Williams right now? And I'm watching it. I'm like, no pass rusher should get paid in Baltimore.
or just pushing them straight back.
Yeah.
Take your pick.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But I always remember when people talk about players going and working with these great coaches in the offseason, I'm always reminded of Cordero Patterson, who came into the league really raw, but super athletic and really wanted to be a great receiver. And he went and he worked with this highly acclaimed wide receiver coach. This guy had trained Jerry Rice and all this stuff. And I remember it because I was so hyped about Cordell Patterson, coming into his second year, that I turned down a trade for Le'Veon Bell in our fantasy league.
You talking about Adam?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he offered me Le'Veon Bell for Cordell Patterson straight up, and I was like,
Yeah.
you are crazy. And Le'Veon
Yeah.
Bell went on to be the best player in the NFL for like the next 3 years. So
Yeah.
Patterson is Cordell Patterson.
Engraven, what's going on, Engraven? Shout out to Engraven. Make sure you guys give him a follow. But yeah, Tough Puppy said wasn't Adam Gase an offensive guru? He was friends. He was friends with a great quarterback once, and for that he got tons of job opportunities. But
yes,
I don't think at any point he was a was he considered a guru, an offensive guru?
Yes.
Oh, well,
absolutely.
There you go.
Just like Brian Billick was.
G Star 007 said, "Man, that Conor fight, McGregor looks tired and done even at age 32. Man, yeah, after he got paid from that Mayweather fight, that was it for him.
No Jake Paul. He's fighting Manny Pacquiao.
Yeah, Pacquiao's next, then Jake Paul after that. I mean, he's doing his celebrity boxing tour next. UFC, man, I think those fights are just contractual obligations for him at this point. He has no interest in them. No interest. The old Conor McGregor, he wouldn't go out like that. No. But yeah, it is what it is, man. When you get paid $100 million, especially as a UFC fighter, you're not going to have that drive anymore.
No, so it's hard to stay hungry.
So me and B discussed this. We want to get off football for a second. We discussed the difference between boxing and UFC, right? We always make these comparisons. I know UFC fans hate that, but UFC is still fairly young, right? Mixed martial arts is still fairly young. Boxing's been around for literally hundreds of years.
Oh, let me interrupt you real quick. Sorry for the late here. We just got a cash app from Byron Jackson.
Oh, Byron. Thank you
very much. Send us a 25. Did not leave a comment though.
Oh yeah.
Make sure you leave a comment for us to read when you send the cash app. But really appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, we're not monetized yet, so we can't do the super chat. So we use the QR code B, if you will, the QR code right above B right there. LBHT show, right? If you want to donate to the Cash App, leave a comment. All right. Also, we have right above me. I'm not sure which hand. This one right here.
There you go.
Okay. Patreon.com/LBHT show. You can be a Patreon member. Also, I'm gonna give a little teaser. Right now, we have a $3 tier. Right. And if you sign up for a $3 tier, we appreciate you. Stay tuned. We're gonna have something for all of our patron members. We're gonna do like Fantasy Football League, Pick'em League, all that stuff for any tier, $3, $10, whatever. But for our $10 tier, we're going to do something a little bit extra. We're going to be giving away something for our $10 tier members. And I want to hold this up. This isn't the coin, but I want to show you guys this. I want to show you this. You guys familiar with the challenge coin? This is my challenge coin from basic training when I was in the Air Force, right? I'm not sure you can focus. It won't focus.
Yeah.
But yeah, but it's a challenge coin. So me and B are creating a challenge coin to give away to our fellow Patreon members. So you sign up, patreon.com/LBHT show. We're going to make sure that you guys get one of those awesome coins. And once it's finished, we're going to show it off to you guys, and if you want one of those shiny ones, just sign up for the $10 tier. You'll get one on your way. But yeah, so far, man, I really appreciate everybody that's been supporting, even if you just come through here and just hang out with us and just type something in the chat box, man. It means a lot to us. Seriously, Thank you. Yeah, so the boxing and UFC. UFC fighters get into the sport at a later age, right? They usually sign up for in the 20s, sometimes late 20s, sometimes 30s. And they're full of energy, man. Like, they're all for it. Like, yeah, like, they're pumped up. They're fighting for the pride and all that stuff. And that's great. They'll fight every other night. They'll do whatever it takes to show that they're the man. But there comes a point where it's like, well, hold up. You're either, it's two types of fighters. Either I haven't gotten paid. I look at one day and I realize I haven't gotten paid that much money, right? And I need my money, right? And then it's you got this beef with Dana White because Dana White is showing favoritism. And you don't like it, and you're still fighting because you care, but then it's just like you're real conscious about the money. So then you start pulling these antics like, maybe I'll retire, or maybe I'll do boxing like Connor did, and you can't get the fights or whatever, right? Or the other type of fighter is your all-time great fighters, right? Like John Jones, Amanda Nunes. Cormier is an exception. Cormier is a company guy. But I still like Cormier. Mighty Mouse. Like you get these fighters, Connor.
Yeah.
You get these guys that kind of transcend the sport, and they make so much money where they're like, no, we'll decide when we want to fight, and if the money's right. If it's not right, I'm not gonna fight. And Dana has beef with those guys ultimately too because he can't control them. Boxing. Now look, you definitely get that in boxing. Don't get me wrong. You get some fighters that are like that, but your all-time greats in boxing, they're fighting for a legacy, right? You look at somebody like Canelo. Canelo, he made all the money in the world already, but he still has that drive because that's something Canelo's been doing that since he was a kid, right? Mayweather's been doing it since he was a kid. Like most of your all-time great boxers have been doing it since they were young, and their fathers did it, their grandfathers did it, or uncle did it. It's something that's ingrained in them. So it's more than just the money for them. They expect to get paid millions of dollars if they make it to the top, but it's more than that. UFC, most of them aren't going to make that kind of money. So when some of them do make that money, it's like, oh, why am I getting my head bashed in? I don't want to do that anymore.
Well, yeah, and UFC doesn't have the same kind of history that boxing does, and that's not, I don't like Dana White, but that's not Dana White's fault. I mean, it's a younger sport.
Yeah.
Right? You're not comparing yourself to a Sugar Ray Robinson who fought 100 years ago. It's your idol was Spider Silva, and he's still kicking around.
I love Spider Silva. Tough Puppy, thank you for joining live stream, man. I appreciate you, man. We'll catch you next time. Yeah, all right. We'll get back. Hold on. Before we get back to some football, Z the Beast saying the Nets not beating them Lakers in 6. Okay, we'll see. Okay, all right.
So y'all, Nets can't guard anybody, man. It's done.
Look, the Lakers, the Nets team that you see right now isn't what you're gonna. It's not the final product. Okay, we're figuring some things out. We're gonna add. We're gonna add some pieces.
The thing that they're gonna figure out is that they can't guard anybody.
Yeah,
okay? That's not gonna work in a series against the Lakers.
Yeah. Z the Beast also said earlier. I missed this one. He's still firing everyone. Hired Doug Peterson. Okay, look. So from what we understand, Doug Peterson is going to take a year off. I would still make the offer. I'm not sure if we reached out to him, but I would do that just to say, yeah, I reached out to him. But they're stuck on Greg Roman, man. I don't know. They're stuck on Greg Roman.
I think if they offered him a head coaching job, he would probably take it. He's taking a year off because he doesn't want to be an offensive coordinator.
Yeah. Bring him on as a consultant like we did Spagnuolo. All right. But yeah, look, Greg Roman is going to be our offensive coach, man. Like, we can't get around that. And to be honest, I wouldn't expect much in terms of play calling changing, right? Maybe we throw the ball a little bit more frequently, but the scheme's not going to be much different. He doesn't know anything, man. Like, he's not going to change. How long has he been coaching for? I don't know. However many years. Like, he's been coaching for a while. For as long as he's been an offensive coordinator, he's never done anything special in the pass game. We shouldn't expect that now. It's not going to change.
No, the change is going to come in personnel.
Yes. Yeah. So I think we really got to stack up. Like, we really have to stack up on the offensive side like we did on the defensive side this year. If we do it on the offensive side, we have a chance. Anything short of that, we're going to have a similar year this year, But somebody said 10-6 or 9-7. That would definitely get Harbaugh fired. I don't think he can win anything less than 11 games.
And it's very possible, right? Like, Pittsburgh comes back. I mean, I figure they'll still be a pretty decent team, pending what happens with their quarterback situation. But, you got Cleveland who won 11 games this year. You wouldn't expect them to take a big step back or anything like that. Yeah. Cincinnati, I mean, if they put in some work on that O line, they could. I mean, they can steal a game from Baltimore next year. I mean, I don't think they're going to hop out of the cellar in the division just yet, but they can make things uncomfortable for Baltimore a little bit, and they weren't far off from 9 wins this year.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. So there will. I read that one already. He's talking about Adam Gase. Yeah, he's supposed to be a QB whisperer. Wait, was he the QB whisperer? That was
I mean, that was also your boy Mark Trestman. There's a lot of QB whisperers out there.
Yeah, yeah. All right, so we have our Super Bowl matchup. Tampa Bay, I'm about to say Green Bay. Tampa Bay and the Chiefs.
Tampa Bay, the first team to be playing the Super Bowl in their home stadium, and unfortunately, there aren't going to be any fans there.
They're not letting fans in.
Well, I mean, there's gonna be some, obviously, but it's not gonna be a full stadium. But they do get the benefit of they get to stay at home. They don't have to travel or anything like that. So
yeah,
that's good for them.
Hey man, look, props to them, man. I didn't think they're gonna make it, but they did. The
NFC was really, really weak this year.
I don't think those teams were weak. Like the Packers were not weak.
No, the Packers weren't weak, but Packers, Green Bay, or Tampa Bay. Who else? I mean, who did they beat to get there? The Saints had a quarterback who couldn't throw the ball more than 20 yards.
I was say they fizzled out because I actually thought they should have won that game. They fizzled out. I understand you're not going to pull Drew Brees. You're not going to pull Drew Brees, but he showed you in that game that he didn't have it anymore. And when you had a chance to get that win.
Yeah,
man.
The Seahawks offense unraveled in the second half of the season. The Rams are quarterbacked by Jared Goff. Enough said.
Yeah.
Chicago's quarterbacked by Mitchell Trubisky. Again, enough said.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you bring up some points.
They went on the road and beat Taylor Heineke in the first round.
Yeah.
And then they beat Drew Brees in the second round. I mean, okay.
Yeah.
It was a weak conference.
Okay, it was a little weak. It was a little weak. But they got past Green Bay. In Green Bay, that's
let me say something, man.
Yeah.
Whether it's Carolina or not, the NFC as a whole desperately needs to win the Deshaun Watson sweepstakes.
Yeah.
Okay? Because all the quarterbacks are in the AFC.
Pete Brownie wants to know, stack up at what position though to run the same plays?
They need to go and get a couple of wide receivers, and they throw the ball enough to be effective. It's just they don't really have the talent right now.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, if you get an Allen Robinson and then maybe a Curtis Samuel, or pick up somebody in the draft, they'll have the talent to make those plays work. Just because Lamar's an elite player, Allen Robinson's an elite player, Curtis Samuel's a good player. Like they're gonna have to basically kind of brute force it with the passing game.
Yeah. Derek Weatherly says Saints versus Bucs, another example of NFC South strongest division. There you go, Derek. That's right.
Man, I don't want to disagree with that, but I'm going to because it's not true.
Jonathan Carrington, he brought up a good point here. Yeah, Stafford to the Saints would be interesting.
Not to Jameis, it wouldn't.
Listen,
to Jameis, that would taste like betrayal.
They said they already come out and say that they want to bring back Jameis.
They did, but you know what? You know why they said that though? Because as one of the people in the chat pointed out earlier, they are $90 to $100 million over the cap. So I don't think that. I mean, I don't know that they would be able to make a Matt Stafford trade work.
Yeah, so I guess that would be interesting if they made that work.
Yeah, but the Saints have done that for the past decade. Have no money and somehow pay people a lot of money.
Yeah, the Saints, they look, credit for trying. They went all in. Now it's time to pay the piper, man. Like they're gonna have to do some trimming on that roster.
They have to cut to the bone, and it's gonna hurt.
And and I don't feel bad for them at all.
No.
You knew this day was coming. Why did you kick out $21 million to Lamar 2.0? Taysom Hill, right?
They're hoping that Jameis doesn't make any money anywhere else, and that they can get him back cheap to be their starting quarterback.
Yeah, so I'm rooting for Jameis to get a job somewhere else. I don't want to see him back there. Curtis Samuel. What's this? Curtis Samuel is the X factor. Given Roman's scheme, he might save the job and actually make him look good. But do we want that?
That's always the dilemma, right? Like Cam Newton kept Mike Shula and Ron Rivera around. Deshaun Watson kept Bill O'Brien around for a while. I mean, it's tough. Like I don't think that Greg Roman is a terrible coach. Like I said, he does put together decent run games. But so if they were able to get talent in there at wide receiver, and obviously fix the O line, I don't care who the offensive coordinator is.
Yeah.
As long as they're able to make it work with the players they have. The players are more important.
Yeah, Curtis Samuels would be a great addition here because he can do it all. He played running back, wide receiver. He runs excellent routes. He's tough. He could really help out in this offense. He can line up everywhere. That could help create some mismatches and help Roman draw out some different types of run schemes or even the schemes that he runs now. It'll confuse defenses even more.
And he's a guy who knows how to find the sticks on third down.
Yes,
that's what he does.
Yeah. So look, the Ravens have some questions that they're going to have to answer this offseason. They have some moves that they need to make, and look, they're going to tell us one thing. That's just how organizations are. They're never going to say, "Yeah, look, we know our wide receivers, they're pretty bad. We need to go out there and get them." But as long as they go out there and make those moves, that's all that really matters. So I mean, it's early in the process, and you're going to hear us say it a few more times what they need to do, and we're going to be scrutinizing and monitoring everything that they do this offseason. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. Derek says 2019 had 4 or 5 top receiving totals. 2020 matchups was not the first in recent years. 2 teams, NFC South in playoffs. Okay. Had 4 or 5 top wide receiving totals.
Yeah, I mean, they have great receivers in the NFC South. But,
yeah.
I'll take the division where the worst team was San Francisco just because of injury. They were in the Super Bowl last year. Then you got the Cardinals missing it by 1 game, and obviously the Rams and the Seahawks. I mean, the NFC South. I mean, it's about to be the dark ages up in there.
I don't know.
Matt Ryan's going to be gone in Atlanta. Drew Brees is out in New Orleans.
Tom Brady got a 2-year contract.
Tom Brady's going to be gone in another year if he doesn't retire this year. It's going to take a while for those teams to come back.
Yeah,
so things are looking up for Carolina.
I'm about to say, it sounds like Carolina's division to lose. That's what right. It sounds like to me.
Get Deshaun Watson. They're going to win that division 8 years in a row.
I would love to see Deshaun Watson there, man. I would love that. So, okay, another thing I wanted to bring up. So you got Tampa with Byron Leftwich as offensive coordinator. Mm-hmm. I'm not even sure if he even got any interviews. No interviews. And obviously Eric Bieniemy once again getting passed up, his second Super Bowl appearance in a row. I think he had one interview.
Maybe they say that he's getting his staff together in case Houston wants to hire him. Him and Leslie Frazier are putting staffs together.
Listen, okay,
so we'll see.
I mean, I guess, man.
He should absolutely say no to that job.
That's the one job I'd be like, yo, take my name out the hat, because I'm not taking that job. At this point, for Eric Bieniemy, I think the best thing for Kansas City is to have him as a coach in waiting.
Yeah.
Just give him a raise. We did the same thing, not with our coaches, but we did it with Eric DeCosta, right? We paid him a lot of money to keep him here in Baltimore. He was a GM in waiting forever, right? Kansas City should do the same thing with Eric Bieniemy. At this point, why would you want him to go, right? Like, look how well everything is running,
yeah.
Right? And you never know when Andy Reid decides to call it quits. He might decide after this year, like, hey, I won 2 Super Bowls in a row, I'm good. I'll go in the front office, be a GM or something like that. Pay Eric Bieniemy right now, say just hang around here as an offense coordinator / assistant head coach, or whatever title you want to give him. And when Andy Reid retires, boom, you have Eric Bieniemy to take over.
I mean, I don't want to say push Andy Reid out because obviously he's one of the best coaches of all time. But
Right.
man, if he were interested in stepping away from head coaching, they could just promote right down the line, right?
Yeah.
Eric Bieniemy's the head coach. Mike Kafka's the offensive coordinator. The guy below him, Blameyer, moves up to
Yeah.
quarterback coach and just keep it rolling.
Hey, Pete Brownie, man, thanks for hanging out with us, man. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're gonna get out here pretty soon too. I'm getting a little drained. Yeah, if you guys didn't hear at the beginning of the show, your boy right here got COVID-19. I tested positive a few days ago, so I'm recovering now. You know, I'm not as bad off as I was at a few days ago, but still a little tired. You know, still a little tired. My symptoms were pretty mild for the most part, but you know, I'm doing all right. Doing all right. I think we'll be okay for this Wednesday's live show. So that's why we didn't do last Wednesday's live show. I just didn't have the energy for it. But should be all right by this Wednesday, and we got a lot to talk about. So we covered the counter fight a little bit. We'll get a little bit more into that. You know, we got some NBA talk, and I'm sure there'll be some more football news by the time that comes around. So definitely is going to be a fun show to tune into. So, is there anything else you want to cover before we get out of here?
No, I mean, you can just save for the Wednesday show.
All right. Hold on, let me go over the sportscaster real quick. Oh, Laddercore 44, if you're still in here. I saw you in there earlier. I didn't get a chance to shout you out. Appreciate you coming through. And again, guys, thank you guys for the support. Man, our views have gone up. Our subscribers have shot up. Our followers on Twitter have gone up. Really appreciate the support from you guys, man. Yeah, we work hard over here. So like, even when you don't see us put out videos, we are definitely working on this. And if you guys are into podcasts at all, check out Lunch Break Hot Take. We actually need to put one up here pretty soon. I think it's been over a week. So we're going to do that. We'll probably do a Old Man Gamers one too. Old Man Gamers is our video game podcast. So if you guys are driving to work or whatever, and you want something to listen to, check out Lunch Break Hot Take. That's what we started out as. We started out as a podcast, then we got into YouTube. So if that's your cup of tea, check that out. Also, you can go to lbhtshow.com. You know, we have articles on there. We put everything on there: podcasts, articles, all that stuff. So take a look at it. B writes excellent articles. We write reviews and all that. So give us a check. Give us a look. And Derek, this is the last comment here. Derek says Stafford to Tampa if Brady retires. I could see that.
Yeah.
I can see that. That's a good. We'll have to look at that a little bit closer on Wednesday to see. We'll talk about that a little bit more. Some possibilities for Matt Stafford.
Yeah. If Brady quits, I could definitely see that one going down.
Yeah. I don't think you're going to see the same type of Tampa Bay team with Matt Stafford.
I'm not sure that Tom Brady is the type to go out on top either. I think the NFL is going to have to beat it out of him.
They're going to have to drag it out. Yeah.
I know I'm 47, but if I'm still winning, why would I quit?
Yeah, I totally get it, man. I totally get it. And you can't tell them anything. But all right, guys, we're going to get out of here. Once again, check out the Patreon, patreon.com/LBHT show if you want to support, or you can hit up the Cash App right above B right there. You scan a QR code or just go to Cash App, $LBHT show. And we will see you guys on Wednesday. Appreciate y'all. Enjoy the rest of your night. Peace out.